Stewart Rhodes makes visit to Capitol Hill's stunning staff. You know Stewart Rhodes, yeah?
I don't.
He is the leader of the Oath Keepers. He's the pirate guy.
Oh.
Yeah, this guy.
Hooray.
I'm about Donald Trump. He looks kind of like...
That's how, just from looking at him, that's what it looks like he would sound like.
Yeah. He looks like if Cat Turd got his eye socket brutally assaulted with a goblin penis. Yep, that's what I said. On his first full day of freedom, Stewart Rhodes, who was convicted of orchestrating the January 6, 2021 attack, returned to Capitol Hill. He was released from prison on Tuesday after President Trump commuted his sentence. Keep in mind, this is a commutation. It is not a pardon, necessarily.
And what's the difference, Jeff?
Well, a pardon means it's expunged and he didn't do anything wrong, and like he's not going to be on his record. He's not going to be impacted as far as like background checks, that sort of thing. Commuted means time served, effectively.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
When Rhodes is spotted at a Dunkin' Donuts in the Longworth House office building, a spot open to the public, the Oath Keepers founder said he did not go into the Capitol building on Wednesday, the Hill reports. Rhodes said he wasn't exactly invited by a member of Congress, but was lobbying for the release of Jeremy Brown, a fellow Oath Keeper still in prison. We're advocating members of Congress advocating that he be given a pardon also, he told reporters. I really, really hate Stewart Rhodes. This dude is a psychopath. Rhodes said that he still wants a full pardon for himself, too, from Trump. I think all of us should be pardoned, he said. The shocking news of Rhodes' arrival swept through the congressional staff per the Hill. A woman went up to Rhodes to tell him he shouldn't be there. You're welcome to First Amendment speech, but it is disrespectful, she said, adding, please tell your story elsewhere. So, again, it's important to remember, like, you know what? Well, give me a minute. We're really going to talk about this. He told reporters that certain people, in her mind, don't deserve free speech and should be wiped off the face of the planet when it comes to their free speech. Lawmakers are equally stunned per the AP. Does he still constitute a threat to public safety? Does he constitute a threat to American constitutional democracy? Asked Democratic Representative Jamie Raskin. So keep in mind, a lot of the people that are working right now in Washington, D.C., in the House and whatnot, they were there on January 6th, and they were under siege, and they were evacuated. They had their offices ransacked. They had all sorts of horrible stuff happen to their private effects. And right after Trump gets in, he just pardons these guys, and here comes Stewart fucking Rhodes. I'm just going to hang out at the scene of the crime. Can't touch me now because I got my buddy Trump back in power. And this is, it's insane. It's absolutely crazy. Is he still a threat to public safety? I would say yes. Probably, as the head of one of the most, notable militias in the country, I'd say probably.
Well, and he's out here trying to peddle influence and shit, so of course he is. Yes, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is he still constitute a threat to American constitutional democracy? Yeah, because he doesn't like constitutional democracy. On the same day, judges in Washington's federal court were dismissing cases against January 6, defendants that were still pending. Some of them included criticism of the prosecutions ending in their orders. U.S. District Judge Colleen Kolar-Kodely said that video trial transcripts and jury verdicts will remain as evidence of the attack. Those records are immutable and represent the truth, no matter how the events of January 6th are described by those charged or their allies, she wrote. Fun fact, if you go to the Justice Department website, where they had their full report of the January 6th committee and everything else that happened on January 6th.
Is it gone now?
It's gone.
No, of course it is.
Oh, weird. It's gone.
Strange.
Rewriting history, perhaps? Judge Tanya Chutkin said Trump's pardons can't change the tragic truth of the attack, and the dismissal she was issuing of a case before her cannot diminish the heroism of law enforcement officers who defended the Capitol on that day. It cannot whitewash the blood, feces, and terror that the mob left in its wake. Yeah, they did. They pooped all over in people's offices. That's one thing that they don't talk about a whole lot. They absolutely pooped everywhere. And look, as somebody who has definitely wanted to poop on quite a few politicians' desks in my time, I get it.
I would have loved to have pooped on Nancy Pelosi's desk, but if I did,
Sure.
I would absolutely have the expectation that I was going to sit in jail for it.
Yes.
So.
But I would poop on Nancy Pelosi's or
Also,
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, I was going to say Mitch McConnell as well. Yes, both of them.
Or Lady G, or especially Ted Cruz. Oh my God, the things I would do to Ted Cruz's desk.
I feel like pooping on Lauren Boebert's desk might be a fetish thing.
she'd have to watch. No, look, can we focus? But I would do so expecting to go to jail and be willing to pay for it in that vein. Not, oh, please shame me, Papa Trump. Like this, it's ridiculous. It cannot repair the jagged breach in America's sacred tradition of peacefully transitioning power. All transition is probably going to be illegal soon, so don't worry about that.
Right. We just transitioned power for the last time.
We'll see. So it is pretty fascinating. There is an international outcry about the pardoning of the January 6th rioters. There are people condemning it all across the country, loudly, making as much noise as possible, and they should continue to do so. But unfortunately, the way our legal system works, that's just how it goes. So, what do we do in this instance? We remember. And one of the things that I think we need to remember, especially when it comes to this dipshit, this guy in specific, because he's going to do something terrible again. He is one of those rhetorics that the right likes to push of, well, there were no guns at the Capitol. Well, first of all, there's a video of a guy shooting a gun in the air.
There were guns.
But there were also more guns just outside of the Capitol. And that's why I thought we should take a look back in time. Oath Keeper's jury hears about massive weapons cache on January 6th.
Right. I do remember hearing about all that.
Taking the stand in the seditious conspiracy case against Oath Keepers founder Stewart, Rhodes, and 4 associates, Terry Cummings showed jurors an AR-15 firearm and an orange box of ammunition that he contributed to the so-called quick reaction force the Oath Keepers had staged at a hotel outside of Washington, D.C., in case they needed weapons.
So he was responsible for putting those weapons there?
Yes.
Huh.
Quick reaction force. So a lot of people are like, well, Stewart Rhodes, he didn't even go into the Capitol. Why is he in jail or blah, 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 blah? Well, one, he organized a lot of what happened on January 6th. But also, he was outside so he could direct people where to get their guns.
Yeah.
I've not seen that many weapons in one location since I was in the military, said Cummings, a veteran who joined the Oath Keepers in 2020. Prosecutors have said teams of Oath Keepers guarded the arsenal of firearms and were prepared to rush them into the hands of extremists in the Capitol if needed. The alleged teams and the cache of weapons are a central piece of the Department of Justice case against Rhodes and the 4 associates, charged with seditious conspiracy in the January 6th attack. We have to understand, not only did Stewart Rhodes and the Oath Keepers, and a lot of the Proud Boys that were there at the time too, and a bunch of other groups, not only were they there trying to do a coup, trying to stop the peaceful transfer of power, they had staged weapons, truckloads of weapons, in order to be able to stage a violent, bloody coup. Like, this could have gone so much worse. So much worse. And sure, maybe they didn't run around with AK-47s and AR-15s and that sort of thing and try and, like, violently do so, but they were prepared to, and that was their intent. So this goes through the rest of the situation with that, but there is so much, mountains of evidence directly connecting all of these things to Stewart Rhodes, who now is free because Trump just decided to pardon him. He also pardoned people that put a stun gun into the neck of a police officer.
Yep.
I thought they were the party back the blue.
Yeah, the one who said I got him and was like hitting him in the head. And
Yeah.
There was party of law and order people.
Yeah, ripped a helmet off of a riot helmet off of one of the Capitol Police and stomped him in his face over and over again. Yeah, he's free too. Yep. All these guys just free. It's because the brown shirts aren't going to be very effective if they're rotting in prison. I have to point this out. Look, I know people, hey, not everything is Hitler. But do you know what happened within the first 2 days of Hitler taking power?
No, what happened?
He pardoned all of his boys that were in jail.
Sweet.
Within 2 days.
Yeah.
So, look, maybe it's just a coincidence. Hey, everybody, thanks very much for watching Nightly News this morning with Jeff and Matt. We want to make sure that you
like, subscribe, comment, share, check us out.
Check out the Patreon, things like that. All the good stuff. We try to be live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, if possible, on my main channel and also on Twitch. And hopefully we will see you there.